What's going on, everybody? I'm glad to have you here. Welcome to Transparent Indigo. Today, I want to talk about being transgender and the Sacral Chakra. Well, if you're anything like me and you've stumbled across this channel, you might be into a lot of spiritual topics, and chakras would be one of them. I started to get into chakra healing around 2020, 2021, and I went to a medium who told me that she saw some blockages with my sacral chakra. And I also should mention that this person is a friend of mine. So they knew, like, on a personal level, what I needed to help myself grow and move forward with life. And so she told me to really focus on the sacral chakra more than any other chakra with my particular energy and situation going on. And I'm very thankful because she was right. When I started to do meditations, I'd find them on YouTube. A lot of times it would just be like different sound frequencies, and I would focus on my sacral chakra. I'd sit in meditation, see it in my mind's eye, send it love, and ask the universe, ask God to help me to heal the sacral area in any way that I needed it, even if there were ways that I didn't understand. And boy, yes, there were. After I started to focus more on my sacral chakra, I started to tap into feminine energy that I had blocked off for a large portion of my life. And I believe that this is because I'm a transgender male who has not physically transitioned, just socially transitioned. And because I was aware of who I am from a very young age of 3 or 4 years old, I just kept it to myself till I was around 20. I didn't know there was a word for it till I was around 20. Because of that, it's like I always felt so insecure about anything feminine. Like I had to prove myself to the outside world. And this, of course, can be very toxic, lead to toxic masculinity in this circumstance, and it did. But like, what I didn't understand for most of my life until more recently is everyone has masculine and feminine energy. And if I understand correctly, a big goal in life is to balance those energies. So because I was just like pushing out any feminine energy, I was starving myself for a lot of things that I needed. Like the nurturing, the self-nurturing. Like I was looking outside of me for a female to nurture me, when that's my job, is to nurture myself first and foremost, right? Because, hey, somebody's going to need me to nurture them too. And how could I be a great nurturer for someone else if I don't even know how to nurture myself? It's just, that's a whole nother video. But I noticed the more I tapped into my sacral chakra, the more I tapped into my feminine energy as a transgender male. And this is specifically over the last 4 years. The more I've done that, the more I've healed in a sense to where I feel more comfortable in my body now than I ever have in my life. And to me, that's healing. That's what it's all about, because everyone deserves to feel comfortable in their own body. And I understand that there's a lot of people that are not transgender that also struggle with this. It's just a different mentality. It's a different experience. But it's all valid and it all matters. You matter. I matter. We all matter. Everyone matters. Everyone's made of matter. Okay. I got dad jokes all day. But what am I even talking about anymore? I wanted to make this video because I wanted to share how specifically focusing on my sacral chakra has helped me as a transgender male who's getting a little older now. I've been out for 20 years. I came out at 20. You do the math. Some of the biggest mistakes and lessons I've learned in regards to this topic was, again, just not looking at any of my feminine energy and not accepting my body as it is. Now, Don't get me twisted, because I know a lot of people would twist around my words right there. I am not saying that a transgender person should have to accept the body they were born in and just deal with it, and I need to live as a woman. No, that's not what I'm saying. I chose to not transition. You can choose to transition. Whatever you choose, I just would want to tell you, please love your body. Because that's what working on my sacral chakra, really all the chakras. I love doing Joe Dispenza's Blessing of the Energy Centers meditations. Those are really cool. You can find them all over the place on the internet. As far as going in and doing healing work with every single chakra. Every chakra is important. And the root chakra, feeling safe in your own body, and then the sacral chakra, which is your sex energy, which I haven't even mentioned yet. I've been rambling forever. First off, orange. Right below your belly button, and it's your sex energy. It's your creative energy. Sex is creation, life, all that good stuff. Where am I now? Let's see. I didn't want to chop up and do a bunch of editing, and I just wanted to just get this out to you because I want to be able to help if I can help, because this has helped me. I spent years abandoning my body, not eating right, over drinking alcohol, overeating, eating bad food, all sorts of that kind of negative stuff. And so what can help you is to just all those self-love, self-care type deals, and then there's also being too hard on yourself. I've been there too. There's a fine balance, just like the masculine and feminine. There's a fine balance with self-love, but also not being too hard on yourself. Well, you can only have X amount of calories or blah, blah, blah. It's a fine line. Let's be loving, let's nourish ourselves, let's take care of ourselves. And that's a lot of feminine energy. And as a trans male, that's what I've been missing all these years. So tapping into the feminine, tapping into the sacral chakra has allowed me to become more comfortable in my own body. And it's also helping me to call in more of what's meant for me. So I guess I'll just probably wrap this video up now. I know I'm kind of rambling. This was not pre-scripted. I knew what I wanted to talk about, and I'm here. I'm here. There's been a lot going on. I'm enjoying making these videos. I would like to make more. There's a lot going on right now in my world, and I'm really excited. But I will tell you that I'm doing a lot better these days with paying attention to my body. I feel like there's something more I want to say with that. 20 years ago when I went in to see a doctor and they were going to write me a script to start taking testosterone. He said you can't try to prove you're male or do certain what's considered masculine activities. Because it's all toxic masculinity. I'm going to go drink a bunch of beer, pound some beers. This toxic masculinity. Because, trying to drink 8 beers in one sitting. Listen, I've done it many a times, but it was never a healthy choice. If you don't know me, I have not had a drink in almost 14 years. So I'm laughing. It's really not funny, but I'm laughing because it's been 14 years. I didn't listen to the doctor, and I adopted a lot of toxic masculine stuff. I gotta be tough and never cry and drink all this beer. And it's that is not the kind of man. Is that the kind of man you want to be? I didn't have the self-awareness to ask myself at 20 years old, is that the kind of man you want to be? Now I do, and I'm grateful. And no, that is not the kind of man I want to be, is somebody that is lost in toxic masculine behaviors and trying to be alpha male all the time, which there's nothing wrong with alpha males that are balanced. Maybe I'm wrong there, but somebody's got to be an alpha male. But hey, do they have the balance of the divine feminine and masculine while also leading the pack? That would be great. That's what I'm saying. So that's a lesson that I've been really happy to learn. So, you know, do what you got to do as far as like doctors go, but like I didn't, for a long time, I didn't go to the doctor, like to the female doctor. I didn't, because I'm a male. That can be toxic. You know what I mean? But I get it. Not everyone can get to the doctor. Been there too, you know? Stuff like, what's another example? Again, anything self-care. Just getting to know your own body. As I know it with trans people, at least with me, is like, I was just not aware of my own body. And on like a metaphysical level, I was like, my soul was like tethered outside of my body for most of my life, because a lot of people, I would think, are not grounded, whether you're transgender or not. A lot of people are ungrounded from their bodies because there's so much trauma going on that they don't want to be in their body. They want to be in this cup of coffee. And me included, man. I'm not trying to point a finger. This is me too. I'm talking about it because I live it, you know. So grounding into your body through meditation, reflection, going outside, sitting under a tree. It's so simple. We make it out to be so hard. I know I do. And it's so simple. Grounding into your body and loving your body. That's what I've been working on. Loving my body, regardless of where you're at with your weight or whether your body matches your brain. Because I've become more comfortable with my body, but I can still look down at my body and be like, that doesn't match my brain. But on a spiritual level, I'm like, okay, well, I personally believe, this is just my belief, you don't have to believe it. I believe that my soul chose to have this experience. I did not always believe that. After I've read a lot of Dolores Cannon's work and have tapped into my own messages and spirituality and connection with God, source energy, I like to call it God. Yeah, I've discovered that I do feel like I chose this life. For years I played the victim role and thought I was a victim of circumstance, of I was born in the wrong body and I'm damned and nothing's fair. That got me more of that experience. Excuse me. By putting that energy into it, I just got more of that victim stuff. And there was certain situations on the in my outer world that reflected victimhood back to me. And it was unhealthy. So the more that I started to say, you know what? I chose not to transition. I could go transition. If I really needed to, felt like I wanted to transition, I could go do that. And that's beautiful. That's beautiful that we have that option these days. But you don't have to transition physically and take hormone replacement. You don't have to do any of that if you don't feel like that's what's meant for you. I'm a transgender male that doesn't sound like one or look like one, but I am. And that's okay. It's about validating yourself, loving yourself. So, if you haven't yet, I'm pointing to myself because of the orange. The Sacral Chakra. Orange. Remember that? You know what else can help that I've heard? I guess has helped because it's been getting better for me, but wearing orange. Like if you're working on a certain chakra, like eating oranges, eating orange foods, bell peppers, like oranges. Mandarins. That can help you tap into that energy. I hope this helps you. Everyone deserves to feel sexy. Everyone deserves to feel desirable. And I think that's been a huge problem for me over the years, is not feeling comfortable with sex or sexiness in my own body, because the body didn't match my brain and it felt weird. Like I felt a lot of shame with my body, and you might feel that too. And I want you to know that you can let that go. I've been letting it go, and I've cried a lot in solitude in regards to that. And they're very happy tears, but it's very bittersweet, because I've begun to see how much time I've let go by with not appreciating and loving my body. So instead of focusing on lost time, I'm focusing on all the blessing I had, the overall blessing I have of loving my body from here on out. So I'm sending you tons of love. Again, you deserve to feel sexy and You deserve to feel loved and comfortable and safe. That's your root chakra. Safe in your body. No matter what, even if your outer appearance isn't matching who you really are, you still deserve to feel safe. You deserve all the best and all the love, and I'm sending it to you right now. Now, if you've been watching this channel, you know I'll just keep rambling, so I better shut up for now. If you have anything you'd like me to talk about in regards to these topics, or any topic really, leave in the comment section below. Please like this video, share it with anyone you think it might help. Follow if you haven't, I'd appreciate you. Much love, y'all.